skip it. See it or skip it. See it or skip it.
Welcome, everybody, to a new See It or Skip It. Season 2 has begun, and I'm so glad to be here with these two very special guests. We already know her. She's been here from season 1 on. It's Rebecca Frost. How's it going?
Old hat.
Old hat, yeah.
And returning for the second time on the show is Adam McDonald.
Yeah, thank you very much. Second time here. I'm glad to finally be back. You know, schedules arranged and the stars aligned, and we're back here now. So.
Oh, the stars have aligned. And the stars are going to be celebrated because this episode, we are going deep into the Utah Film Critics Association's Movie Awards that's happening literally this time tomorrow. We're going to be voting for these, and we're going to break down what it's like in that room, what we're all going and talking, discussing, debating, fighting maybe in some of our movies that we love and that we want to have represented by our association. So we're so glad that you can make it with us. But before we jump into that, let's go into one of the biggest movies that's going to be coming out this month is 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
The Bone Zone.
The Bone Zone. Bonza.
We're already starting. We're starting off in the right sense of this. Okay. We saw 28 years later last year. We were told that this is going to be a trilogy, and this is the literally jumping right off of that first film continuation, directed by Nia DaCosta. We have a return to Spike. We're seeing this new gaggle of Jimmys, who it turns out is based off Jimmy Savile. Which, if you don't know who that is, I would Google it and like have some water with you because it's horrible person.
Not a good person. Now I know why the Brits were so upset at the end of the first one. So.
Yep, and now we got Ray Fiennes taking the center stage in this as he's trying to understand this virus that has been infecting everybody. There's this big giant zombie named Samson that we grew to know in the first film. We grew to know him maybe in a biblical sense at the first point. And now we see that maybe there's a chance that they can smoke peyote and dance in the moonlight, and maybe there's a bit more to this infected group of people than what we're giving them credit for. But me and you had a chance to see this in the theater.
Yes.
What did you think of it?
You know, I've been a huge fan of the 28 weeks later. Well, not so much weeks, but the series.
I don't think they even really are a big fan of the weeks.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
So, in 28 years later, last year was one of my favorite movies of the year. It was my top 10, and I was excited for this one. It was filmed back to back. Can't wait to see what goes on, especially with that strange ending at the end of the last one where you're like, what? What did I just watch? Is that a Power Ranger episode or something?
And by the way, we can spoil everything from the first movie because, in my opinion, if you want to watch this movie, you need to watch the first. Otherwise, you're going to be completely lost because it puts you right into it.
It starts probably minutes, hours maybe, after the first one ends. So it does. I love the fact you finally get in there. You finally see who Jimmy is. You knew him. He was the kid at the beginning of the first one. Grew up really messed up, obviously, psychologically, and what he and his band do. But I can't say enough good things about it. It's fantastic. We were joking earlier that January is where movies go to die, and we're like, dude, this is like top tier movie right out of the gates. I mean, first weekend, and I can't think of the last time we had that. But I went in expecting a lot. Everything was just overtaken more than I could possibly imagine, and I really wasn't set up for how much of like an emotional movie it was going to be. Like Ray Fiennes, especially, he's just, of course, always the best at everything he does. But I thought it was going to be more Alfie's movie, which it is, but it really focuses on him and Samson, and there's just a relationship that builds there and a bond that I wasn't expecting, and it takes you to a place that you're like, hey, we've been looking at this all wrong. And, you know, of course, you're going to have parallels in real life with things that go on with us, but run out and see it as fast as possible. I can't say enough good things about it.
So I haven't seen it. Does Aaron Taylor Johnson show back up?
No, we don't have really too much of a continuation of that island storyline.
Yeah.
It's much more what happened after he got caught by the Jimmys. And the Jimmys, A Clockwork Orange, anybody? This is a group of psychos that are doing the most disgusting things. There's a scene in the shed where I don't want to spoil too much, but if you're squeamish, that one's going to be the most challenging thing for you as a viewer to watch. But at the same time, every part of this movie feels intentional, feels like it's only exploring the lore in a way that maybe only an HBO like miniseries could do. And the way that Nia DaCosta directed this is so gritty, not like Danny Boyle, not in the sense that what we saw last time, the Power Rangers, like, you know, it felt toned down from that already. And that's what I was excited about because, to be honest, I hated the ending of 28 years later. I thought it was such a crazy switch.
It's a whiplash moment because I recently rewatched the movie and just the last 20 minutes I'm sobbing because it's so emotionally moving. And then the Jimmies. So it is.
Yeah.
It brings you back into the world as chaotic as it is.
Yep.
But it is like a very tonal whiplash that happens at the end. So I'm excited to see how it pays off.
I would highly recommend this when you watch the second one. Immediately, and I did this, I ran home and I watched 28 Years Later again, and you will pick out so many things that you didn't realize were important in that movie for the entire story.
Ooh.
Until you see the second one, you're like, there's certain things that are said, certain lines of characters that match up, and you're like, oh wow, that is connected. And then that jarring rift in between the story and the Jimmies suddenly doesn't seem quite as bad because you know where it's going.
Did Alex Garland write this one as well?
Mm-hmm. Yep, both written. I believe he's going to write the third as well. What else is fascinating about this? The year has passed, and Sinners came out. Jack O'Connell was one of the best parts of that movie, and he again crushes it as the main villain in this. I was horrified by him. He's completely delusional. This is a cult leader that believes he's the son of Satan, literally. And the way that he tries to get his group to do pretty much anything he wants.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some infighting. Maybe some people don't believe he is the son of Satan. And the way that they explore that, exploring these humans as being more twisted, more inhumane than the infected people that end up being more human than anything. That's such a beautiful message. A fascinating story. Ralph Fiennes is the champ in this, though. There's a sequence towards the end that is one of the best things. This is going to be on every loop for like best of the year sequences. I swear that Ralph Fiennes, he can do no wrong. He could just paint a wall and I will watch. And
I'd pay money.
Yeah.
Oh,
to
yeah, no,
watch
he's
it.
perfection in everything.
Now, what do you think going forward this is going to be doing? Do you see them returning with Danny Boyle doing it? Do you want Nia DaCosta to direct the third one now that we've seen her just nail this story?
You know, honestly, I think I'd be fine with either. I think in a way, having Boyle come back and finish the story might be what they do because he started the whole thing, right? But if anything, I mean, she did as good, if not better, in a lot of ways than he did. Like one of the things in the first one that I wasn't as big a fan of is like when the raged infected people are getting shot, there's like the little stop motion twist thing, and that was like
well, you saw
dollar store Matrix shot.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw the camera rig for that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a series of iPhones.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was cool. You guys are wrong.
Well, no. And here's the thing was I didn't realize how weird it was, so I went and saw it again after seeing Bone Temple because the cinematography and the shooting for those kind of things are much more fluid and natural.
Yeah.
So it kind of came across more organic than, the first time it was a cool shot and wham, bam, all this cool stuff. But if she takes it over, I'm perfectly fine with it. If I have any complaint about this movie, I'm not going to spoil it. I didn't like the last 30 seconds. Which is where it leaves it open for the next one. And we're getting the next one, thankfully. I don't know that I needed that.
What's fascinating, though, is that's the same complaint I had for this last movie. So I'm just going to trust the process now. I was so angry with the first film and how it ended. I did not think they would be able to redeem it for me because they just turned the tone so much. But they completely nailed it. So with what I know you're talking about, and I don't want to spoil it either, where they're going, I do think it'll be another tonal shift, but it'll be one that I'm excited for. Another thing, the first movie, I noticed that I kept picking at the world. All of the world building that they were doing, all of the explanations, I found a lot of holes that I was like, I don't know about that. Why does this island not have any resources from the outside world, even if they're quarantined? What's going on with the Samson character? The way they focus in on these character stories makes you forget all about that world building stuff. And like the action shots, like that iPhone thing, just for the sake of it's cool. Everything in this felt like it had a lot more intention to it. For me, this is a see it, and it's honestly my favorite of the entire series, even the first one.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's 100% see it for me, and my recommendation is see it, go see the first one, and then go see it again. Because I'm excited to go back on Sunday and catch even more stuff I probably missed the first time. But it's almost a perfect film. Like that last 30 seconds is my only quibble. But like you said, trust the process. Nia DaCosta came over here and just mind-boggling with this crazy ending from the first one. And for those who are worried about, we're using Jimmy Savile in this, like, trust me, he's a bad guy. Like, they don't do anything to make him any kind of hero or anything. He earns his real-world stripes in this as well.
Yep.
So.
Oh, speaking of bad guy, our audience towards the end, I've never heard an audience be so like excited to see a villain get his. They were like chomping at the bit. I heard a few like,
let's do this. Yeah.
So very exciting. If you're going to see this, to go and see it in a theater, it's absolutely worth it. And the first one is available on Netflix right now. You can check that out. And I believe the sequel will. They just made a huge deal with Sony where they're going to be putting out all of their pictures exclusively to Netflix.
Oh,
yeah.
Now. So very, very cool.
Interesting, huh?
And there's some other things that are coming out before we jump into the UFCA stuff. Star Trek.
Star Trek. Oh, if you're a Star Trek fan, we're eating well. Starfleet Academy premiered this week, first 2 episodes. Holly Hunter is our new captain. She is now the chancellor of the newly rebuilt Starfleet Academy. You, I think, could jump into this having not seen any of the other Paramount Plus era stuff, but it is helpful because it takes place 100 years after the burn, which was a major event in Star Trek Discovery, and Starfleet Academy was decimated. And now Starfleet Academy in San Francisco is rebuilt, and the USS Athena, which has been acting as Starfleet Academy, is on its way back to San Francisco. And we follow a character named Caleb, who he's very disillusioned by the Federation and working with Holly Hunter's character in pursuit of finding his mom. He was separated as a child from his mom, and the main crux of the show is Caleb searching for his mother, played by Tatiana Maslany. But you know, if you're a Star Trek fan, it's got everything. It's got references to the original series, to a lot of Deep Space Nine references. A lot of it was written by Tawny Newsome, who voice of Mariner in Star Trek Lower Decks. She's a huge Star Trek fan, and it is, I hear, a love letter to Deep Space Nine. So if you're a fan of Deep Space Nine, this is a show to watch.
Rebecca, you're our Star Trek aficionado.
Yeah.
You know all. You are the Cimmerian of it.
Yeah.
It seems like every show they've put out has been a hit for you. Am I off on that?
Yeah, I love Star Trek.
It's a good thing though, because Star Wars, not all the shows ended up working for everybody. But what do you think is the difference here?
So a friend of mine mentioned, are you familiar with the Saturday Night Live theory? The Saturday Night Live theory, what is the best season of Saturday Night Live? What's the best era for you guys?
For me, it would probably be the Will Ferrell era.
When you watched it as a youth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not exactly what I said it.
Saturday Night Live is the best in your own opinion from when you watched it as a kid. And that's kind of the vibe I've picked up from a lot of Star Trek fans. There's a lot of Star Trek fans who don't like the Paramount Plus era, and they think it's an affront to everything that came before. Me, I like food. I like apples. I like oranges. I'm just so happy to have anything Star Trek because I love the universe and I love this ideal utopia that we have. I mean, there's still trouble, right? Like Paul Giamatti, he's the bad guy in this show.
I'm sure he's chewing up.
Yeah.
Eating it up. he's having the best time. And Star Trek it's fun when you know the people involved are also having fun, and you can feel it through the screen that this is made with love. And you know, if you like Star Trek and aren't going to be picky about it, this is a fun show so far.
Well, I will need to add that to my list because I didn't know it was out. Because this time of year, you know, for my other job that puts food on the table, it's, you know, holidays, it's crazy. We're talk about awards soon, so we're watching tons of movies, and I just didn't even know that came out yet. So
yeah, Thursday, Appointment TV is back because Thursdays now, we used to have Pluribus, but that's done. But now we've got Starfleet Academy, and we have The Pit.
The Pit.
The Pit.
Clock in for your shift at The Pit.
Before we jump off this, there's one more thing. I saw you post on your Instagram a couple screenshots of Holly Hunter, how she was sitting at the captain's chair, and you very notably put representation matters. What does that mean for you?
I mean, so I haven't watched Voyager yet because in my Star Trek quest, I'm watching it in chronological release, so I haven't watched Voyager yet, so I haven't really encountered a female captain. And Holly Hunter as a captain, she's just very casual. She's sitting in the chair. If you've ever seen a woman sit in a comfy chair, she's not sitting in it normally. She's contorted in so many ways in the chair, and I was like, oh my God, she's just like me for real.
With a good book, kind of.
In the captain's chair, and I'm like, man, she's just like me for real.
That's amazing. Well, I'm very excited to check this out. I'm excited to see how the season goes and how you're feeling about it as it progresses. So keep us updated on that as well.
For sure.
Before we do, let's go ahead and cut to a disc drop with Leo.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Disc Drop. I'm Leo, and I'm here to tell you everything that's new on physical media this week, and there's a lot, so let's just get right into it. From Disney, we got Tron Ares, we got the regular 4K and the Steelbook. This is a beautiful Steelbook, I love it so much, and it's also available on Blu-ray, so make sure to get yourself a copy. From Neon, we have Shelby Oaks, a Chris Stuckman film. This is available now, so make sure to get yourself a copy. From Kino Lorber, we have Babe and Babe Pig in the City. For the first time on 4K, these classics are available now. From Kino Lorber, for the first time on 4K, we have The Pink Panther. This is a must-have in your collection. It's a classic, and it's available now. Also from Kino Lorber, we have 3 more movies from the Pink Panther series: A Shot in the Dark, A Pink Panther Strikes Again, and Revenge of the Pink Panther. These movies are available right now on 4K for the first time. Well, that's my time for this week, guys. Thank you guys for joining, and make sure to tune in next week on the Disc Drop. I'll see you guys next time.
Welcome back, everybody. It's award season. We've all been watching the Golden Globes, the Astras, the Critics' Choice Awards, but did you know that locally we also have our own awards too? The Utah Film Critics Association. We are going to be in the round, in the den of lions, and we're in the pit, and we're going to be figuring out what is going to be our best picture, best animated, all of the categories, even some that maybe you didn't expect us to be thinking of. But the question is, how do critics think when we go through these awards and when we're discussing what we want to nominate and what we want to win? Adam, you're the president of the Utah Film Critics Association.
Oh, goodness. Oh, no. I am the least important person in the room, trust me.
Tell us, peasants, how it's done.
Well, you're going to be there voting with us, but you should know how it's done. But yeah, basically we find the movie we think is going to upset everyone the most if it wins, and we pick that one. So
you've been to 10 years worth of this, right?
About 10 years, yeah.
What was it like when it started versus what it's like now?
You know, it kind of feels like, we have fewer categories back then. So we've added some other ones recently. We've combined some, like for instance, we decided that we should focus on just best screenplay, because sometimes there's hit or miss as far as, is this original, is it adapted? Studios can submit things in certain categories that you may not agree with. Like, so Jacob Elordi, for instance, is being pushed as Best Supporting Actor this year. I feel it's a lead performance, a lot of us did, but because we follow what the studios ask us to, or what they say this is what he's being submitted in, we kind of do follow that. So, but we've recently added in things like Best Sound, Best Stunt Design, which you're going to see in the Oscars coming up. We're one of the few critics associations that actually do some of those more craft things like film editing and stuff.
Well, stunt is a new category that's just now getting introduced in other big awards, and we've been doing that for a couple of years now.
Yeah, we recently started up with stunts, and it was kind of funny because this year there weren't really many great stunt-worthy movies.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah. Mission
From the
Impossible.
world of John Wick, ballerina.
That's the only thing it's ever going to get nominated for. But yeah, we've got about 18 different categories, everything from Best Picture to Best Non-English Film, the stunts. Yeah, and it's very similar to what they do with the Academy Awards. Everyone has a weighted balance, so you're picture number 1 down to 5. We tally the points up, and at the end, we end up with at least 5 nominees. And then we get together in our pit of despair and throw apples at each other or whatever other weapons we have available. And yeah, it's really fun though. We get to talk it out. We get to have some brief time together to say, well, I think I'm right. Not so much you're wrong, which I kind of like. I like the, hey, I'm right, not you. But and then at the end of it all, hopefully we'll crawl out bloody and crying and have 18 awards. So
you're really selling it, the fighting aspect of it.
You've been there. You know what it's like.
I know what it's like. It's sometimes
you still have a scar back here.
The sun comes down.
We got out in 75 minutes last year, and I'm aiming for that this year too.
Yep.
So.
What was something that you noticed this year when it came to nominations, without spoiling too much or making it seem like we're putting the scale on anything? Was there something interesting about this year particularly? There
were some really, really tight categories. Like normally as I'm going through and we're tallying them up, like, the first 5 or 6 ballots come in and it's like this, and then they spread really wide. And this year it was very, very close. We actually have 7 nominees this year for Best Supporting Actor by a Male Performer. And we've never had that before.
But my top pick isn't one of them.
Who was your top pick?
David Johnson from The Long Walk.
Oh yeah, he was popular. I will say that because I can't reveal the way the pie's made. This is the closest year we've ever had. And for me, it was kind of felt like an off year for movies. There was some good stuff, but nothing that was like, well, obviously My Wild Robot. But
that's how I felt last year. There were movies that I was willing to go to bat for.
Yeah.
Whereas this year, I'm like, yeah, movies were good.
Yeah.
I don't have a champion this year.
But as far as, looking at the narrowing down to just the top 5, or in that case 7, it literally came down in many categories to 1 point or 1 vote.
Wild.
Yep.
And I've never seen that before. And obviously, I've only been in this role for 3 years doing it, or 4 years now because I was the vice president. But I've never seen it this tight. So whether you want to say we're making better movies, or like you mentioned, maybe there wasn't as much we could root for, or, ride or die type thing. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out because again, I can normally predict the winners based on the nominations, and this year there's a lot of categories. I'm like, it could go to any one of these 5.
Mm-hmm.
From what I looked
7.
at, we've kind of narrowed it down to the 3 tops.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, we've got one battle after another, taking the most nominations, I believe.
Yes.
Sinners is coming in second. I think those 2 are going to be fighting for the
Yeah.
entire awards year for this. And then Sorry Baby, which came in for original screenplay, and I'm just so excited that. Because that's the fun part about the Utah Film Critics Awards, is that we find some things that maybe other groups aren't looking at or maybe aren't celebrating as much as they should. And I think Sorry Baby is that one where Ava Victor put her heart and soul into that film. It's a $2 million independent film, debuted at Sundance. And for us to show love for that is fascinating. At the animation category, we tend to steer towards more gravitas and not really like the pop side of animation. We're not really going for like the kids animation stuff, but the ones that have a lot more meaning to them. What's been one of your favorite wins in the past award season?
Well, I mean, I've got it on my arm right here. So,
Wild Robot.
So Wild Robot was a movie that came out that I was like, it's DreamWorks. And that one not only became my movie of the year, obviously, I like it. I've got a tattoo. I unveiled it at the voting last year, and I think that might have helped it win. We actually did give it Best Picture last year for animated and for overall.
No, we awarded Flow Best Animated, didn't we?
Did we do Flow?
Yep, I think Flo
Maybe it was
won
Flo.
that one.
Yeah, I think Flow was Best Animated, but then Wild Robot was
Yeah,
Best.
this is why I have computers to remember everything for me, because,
It's not the first time animation has won Best Picture, because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I believe, also did.
Yeah.
Or it was a cross.
it was Into.
Into, yeah.
And the first movie we ever gave Best Picture to was Spirited Away.
Wow.
Whoa.
So
So animation is kind of
Yeah.
our jam.
We care about it.
yeah, we definitely care about it. But yeah, we kind of have all over the place. We've got like the Vice Martin Award, which is named after 2 of our founders who passed away, and we really focus on like best performance in like sci-fi, horror, or fantasy, which brings up a lot of people we don't get to see and talk about a lot. So
Or animals.
Indy the dog, like we can,
In this case.
yeah,
Yeah, we nominated it. We nominated
We
it.
nominated it.
and we got called out on Twitter for it, and I really don't care. So.
He may be a good boy, but he should have been in stunt categories, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
we should have put in the trainer or something for the win. But please don't let that win.
I have my voice is as important as all of yours, so you guys all get to decide too. So
Well, let me ask you this. When it comes to personal connection versus a technical craft of something, where do you think we end up going?
like you mean as far as like the
Do the winners usually end up being the favorites, or do they end up being the ones that we all universally agree the craft supports it as being the winner?
I think it's got to be a mixture of both. I mean, I was talking to you earlier that sometimes, when we're looking at what my favorite movie of the year is versus what I think is the best movie, and I'm sure with you, it can be different sometimes. Like, I absolutely hated the movie The Whale. I don't like Aronofsky.
Sure.
But I voted for it in many categories because, as far as I was concerned, even though I disliked the movie itself, I couldn't argue against the fact that it was so well made in very many aspects.
For me, how much I care and am personally moved by a movie is a heavy weight in how I vote. A movie can be so well made technically, but if it doesn't move me, I'm not giving it the time of day.
Yeah. Well, and it's not to say that we ever fully remove emotion out of it, because I
Yeah.
think, we all have to have a movie you can, like you said, go to bat for, which this year is what it is. But so I think it's a mixture of both, and I think it's healthy to have that, because if it's pure emotion or if it's pure just analytics, like, that's boring.
Yeah.
It's never boring with us. And I cannot wait for tomorrow when we're going to announce the winner. So make sure that you're staying tuned with us. We will be updating our article live to show the winners. And it's just a very fun time. So thank you so much for coming on the show, talking to us about it a little bit. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me here. I'm not nearly an expert like you are, but I try.
This is a show for experts?
Is it?
No.
How much are we getting paid?
I forgot what we even talked about.
You guys are getting paid.
You guys are getting, yeah. My name's Adam McDonald. You can find me over on the Big Movie Mouth Off podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and UtahFilmCritics.com is our website. You can go there to find a list of all the movies that are going to be nominated, the ones that are going to be awarded. And if you want to join us, there's information there if you want to become a member and some of the criteria and reach out. I'll answer back to you, and maybe you can come be part of the fun too.
You have to be cool.
You do.
Yep.
I don't know why they let me in, but you know.
Well, you have to be cool, and you have to have a handle like you, Gross Rebecca, to be able to be considered. If there's any time to plug the Star Trek show that you're running expertly, it's now's the time.
Okay, well, you can find me every week at the Geek Show podcast and also TV Show in Space, wherever podcasts are sold, and at You Gross Rebecca on social media.
All right, and finally, we have one more thing, just a fun little thing. Pluribus. We loved that show, right? Well, the main actress, Rhea Seehorn, was nominated for a SAG nomination for Best Actor, and we had a chance to talk to her.
Did you talk to her after her Golden Globe win?
Yes, I did.
Ooh.
And we got to spend a bit of time with one of the greatest actors that Vince Gilligan has ever worked with. A great combination for the two. And with that said, we'll see you at the next review. Take care. With actors that you've been working with, what has been the best advice that you've gotten from a fellow actor that you still carry with you on your projects?
Oh my God, I've had tons of incredible advice from actors, all the way up to my current cast, Samba Shuta, Carolina Widra, and Carlos Manuel Vesca, as well as my incredible guest stars, Miriam Shore, I learned a lot from, and certainly on Better Call Saul. I mean, if there was any way, if I had completed my work and I had not gone home to try to see my family, then I was on set watching everybody else's work, you know, in scenes that I'm not in. Advice, well, Bob told me, and I use this now that I'm number one on the call sheet. He had asked Bryan Cranston for advice just on the logistic and technical part of you know, being the lead of a show. And one of the things he had told him that Bryan told Bob and Bob told me was ask for a double banger, which is a trailer that has 2 compartments in it. And no larger, and have it in the contract that no one else can have larger than you. And the reason is because we shoot a lot of locations and you're adding 20 minutes every time you're moving another trailer. And if people get in this war of like, who's got a bigger trailer, and suddenly you're moving entire like cities each time. Bryan told Bob, he was like, would you rather get home and get half an hour more sleep, or would you rather have a luxury liner trailer? And everybody is like, I'll take more sleep. So I took that advice.
That's good advice. And the idea of Trailer Wars being its own series sounds kind of fascinating to me. Right? I would watch that.
I haven't witnessed that before, but I guess it happens.
Kind of a follow-up with that. Vince Gilligan, obviously, you've been collaborators for a very long time, and it seems like it's been going great, and it's a very healthy relationship. What goes into creating that creator-actor partnership, and what makes it healthy to you?
Gosh, I can only speak for my side of that equation. And that is that I come from theater, and and a lot of new play development through Woolly Mammoth Theater and sometimes Arena Stage. And the respect for the writer is huge, and you are helping facilitate their voice and their story. And my interpretation of those words is every bit as important and part of the collaboration. But I am very, very respectful when I'm asking a writer or a director or a showrunner a question, because I know they worked their butts off to come up with what's right in front of me or have an idea. And I do find that it gets reciprocated. So I'm at a place now with Vince where he does not have any ego. It's best idea in the room wins anyway. But I now feel very, very free to try anything he tells me to give a shot. And he is extremely receptive if I say like, well, what if we push the comedy on this moment a little bit and then pulled back on this other moment, and just trying things different ways. That being in an environment where everyone thinks you're going to be great rather than thinking you have to prove yourself the whole time is a very freeing way to work.
Final question. This is kind of a rapid fire. Pluribus is all about AI. It's an allegory for it and technology. So I need to know which
some
team
people's
is
interpretation. That is not what Vince
my interpretation. What is a plura yes and a plura sus when it comes to these things that are technology in the world today? So two-factor authentication. A plura yes or a plura sus. So one's good and one's bad.
Okay.
Two-factor authentication.
Plura yes.
QR codes for parking garages.
Plura sus.
Face ID instead of passwords.
Plura sus.
Waymos.
Plura yes.
And skip intro buttons.
Plura sus, and also they need to stop cutting off the credits at the end unless you want to move on to the next episode.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ray. It's a pleasure meeting you, and I cannot wait to see more of Pluribus Season 2, whenever that comes out.
Thank you. Thank you very much.